you mentioned what's easier. Could it be that what's easier is what we're just saying is a distraction from getting us
Mm.
where we would want to be, or worse yet, a distraction to getting us where we start identifying what we actually need?
Hmm. Yeah, well, I think you bring up a really good point thinking about what's easy. And I think I always used to say, or I always love to say that, healing is very, very simple. Really, when we break it down, it's very simple, but it's not always easy. And if we look at something long term, like you spending, 5 hours a day on Instagram, for example, in that moment, it probably feels really easy in the short term. It's an easy thing to do. You open your phone, you're there, you're engaged and getting that dopamine hit. And in that moment, that's a very easy thing to do. But then you look at long term, it's not easy to stay addicted to your phone and to be wishing that you had all this time to, like you say, build your brand or work a part-time job or go to the gym. um, there's going to be challenges associated with both, and it's really, do you want an easy moment short term, or do you want the rest of your life to be easier because you're willing to put in some work right now to do the thing that's going to benefit you later? So it's interesting when we think about what's actually easy, and you're right, it's an easy distraction as well.
Because at that point, if you're gonna tell someone, okay, which one do you want to do? Do you want to sit on your sofa in your underwear, eating chips, pop, or just watching Netflix all day long? Or do you want to, let's say, okay, let's overcome some of the struggles that you're going through. Let's address your mental health. That second option seems such more difficult and more of a bigger decision. When it comes to mental health and the people that you work with, um, what are maybe some of the commonalities that impact them early on in their journey towards improving their mental health?
You mean before they start taking action or once they start? Yeah, before. I think the biggest thing that I see, and I work a lot with people who have chronic anxiety or generalized anxiety disorder, because I've found even with my diagnosis, I have diagnosis of bipolar, I have ADHD, I have all these things. Anxiety is the thing that is the most crippling, actually. And I think that the thing I witness the most is when people are really struggling with that, it's because they're not questioning the thoughts that come with anxiety. It's like something feels a little bit anxious and scary. And immediately the response is, I'm not going there. I'm turning away. I'm saying, nope, that's uncomfortable. And that actually, when you have that reaction to anxiety and you don't want to face it, it actually really shrinks your comfort zone and you continue leaning away from things that feel a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit scary until eventually it's like I've worked with people who literally don't feel comfortable going outside their house because maybe something happened once and they're afraid to go outside. And that's actually like a wildly common diagnosis, agoraphobia, from a fear of leaving your house, which can be overcome. And it's incredible when people overcome that. And I've witnessed people and guided people through overcoming that to the point that they could go for walks with their family and go out for lunch and do all these things they really wanted to do. But again, it's like the point of getting to that space where the world seems like such a scary place. What happens is you don't challenge that fear and you just silently allow that fear to win and to essentially cripple you.
That's tough. I'm trying to like visualize that for a moment. Like someone is unable to push through because just the thought of it, the idea of it could be scary. And sometimes when I hear things like this, Carly, I think of let's say the people who have like addiction, where they
Yeah.
gotta hit the rock bottom before they can move forward, where it has to get so bad in some cases that is what's going to push them or at least inspire them to move forward. Are there from a supportive perspective now, if I identify, let's say, a friend, or even making, let's say, even more intimate, more personal, my partner or someone's partner, right? They're struggling with mental health, and the other partner is there and they want to be supportive, like a lot of people in relationships want to be, but they're having some struggles being supportive in the way that maybe their partner wants them to be. how can they then work through that on their own end to not get frustrated because maybe the way that they're assisting isn't being beneficial and taking a more approach as in, I'm here to assist you. What do you need from me to do so?
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, so it definitely is very like case dependent, and I can give you kind of a general answer, keeping in mind that different approaches will work better for different people. Some people need more of that tough love kind of kick in the butt to get going, and some people actually need a lot more compassion and empathy. And the thing about mental health is that no matter what's going on for someone, if it feels real, it is real to you. Your body doesn't actually understand, and your brain doesn't understand the difference between an imagined threat, which produces anxiety, versus an actual threat, which is more of that fear response that we can act on. And if your partner or someone that you love is going through something, and you from an outside perspective can see this is not rational, there's no reason that they need to be this upset, like why are they feeling this way, saying those things is not going to be helpful, because it's going to make that person push you away. It's not going to make them want to confide in you. It's going to make them feel invalidated and like nobody understands them. And that can actually cause someone to spiral even more deeply and feel even more alone, which mental health can be so isolating. That's not what we want to do. So making sure that you are not validating someone by saying you're right to feel this way, but saying things like, that sounds really scary. And I can see that you're experiencing a lot of emotions around this. Is there something that I can do to support you here? And really having that compassion and empathy. And I think another really massive piece, and the first piece on anyone's healing journey, I 100% believe, is that they have to decide they want to heal. And in order to want to heal, you have to believe you're worthy of healing. So ultimately, that really starts with self love, with self, even self liking, self desiring, wanting to feel better and feeling like you are worthy of putting in the work it takes to feel better. So if it's your partner or someone that you love and you can just see that they're struggling and you can see that realistically they probably are lacking in a lot of self love, self confidence, what can you do to help bring that out in them? How can you give them compliments that are deeper than, I like the dress you're wearing? Like, how can you compliment them on their character and help them to see that they are amazing and they are worthy of feeling well? And again, a lot of this becomes self work and they have to want that and see that for themselves. But we can be guides for the people we love to help bring that out of them and spark that process as well.